Heavy bass, killer riffs, and great harmonies spanning over 40 years. They pushed the boundaries of progressive rock while influencing grunge bands like Alice in Chains and Soundgarden, as well as metal bands like PanterA. A band that had it all and should have broke through into the mainstream, but for a few reasons just didn't. This is Band You Should Know Episode 2, King's X. Okay, first off, this is one of my favorite bands, and since they're releasing a new album this year and I'm going to be seeing them in October, I wanted to make this video shedding some light on the group. The group started out in Springfield, Missouri, playing in various bands in the local music scene. They would all intersect with each other at different points before being drawn to each other through their musicianship and their friendship. Formed in 1979, and after going through a few different names, including The Edge and Sneak Preview, they would land on King's X in 1985, and have remained the same three core members since their inception, consisting of Doug Pinnick on bass and vocals, Ty Tabor on guitar and vocals, and Jerry Gaskill on drums and vocals. When a record label in Houston, Texas showed interest in the band, they would relocate there, and although they wouldn't sign with the label, this is where they would meet Sam Taylor, and he would help them further their sound and even offer the new name for the group, King's X. Taylor worked as a video producer for ZZ Top and also managed several bands in the local Houston scene. Taylor would encourage the band to expand their sound and be more experimental. He also helped them get signed on to Megaforce Records in 1987. And this would begin rapid-fire release of album after album from the band, starting with Out of the Silent Planet in 1988, Gretchen Goes to Nebraska in 1989, and Faith, Hope, Love in 1990. These albums would get the attention of Atlantic Records, and in 1992, King's X would put out their major label debut, the self-titled King's X. However, at the same time, their relationship with Taylor was coming to a head due to the strenuous workload he'd placed on the band, along with money mismanagement. And shortly after the album's release, they would end their working relationship. The self-titled album was also another turning point for the band. Up to this point, the band had had more positive lyrical content while still being heavy, but on this album some darkness was showing, and it festered onto their next release, 1994's Dogman. Dogman would feature less harmonies and an overall heavier sound for the band. Overshadowed by the ever-growing grunge movement of the time, the band unfortunately fell through the cracks. And although they would have an influence on several grunge bands, they didn't fit in with the emerging scene. They were snappy and well-polished, and combined with the more positive lyrics, it was like two different worlds. Atlantic Records would pressure the group to write hit songs, and wouldn't even let them tour in the UK as they were only focused on America. Even though the group had a large following across the pond, it was a missed opportunity for the band. And in 1996, the band would put out Ear Candy, taking a more upbeat approach and more poppy and streamlined songs. Unfortunately, as this album failed to produce any hit singles, the band was dropped from Atlantic. After taking some time to regroup, the band would find a new home in Metal Blade Records, who would give the band artistic freedom to do as they please, and you can tell it from their 1998 release, Tapehead. Tapehead was the sound of a rejuvenated band, making the statement of, no matter where we are, we will always be us. And that's where I'll leave us on the history today. Since Tapehead, the group has released Please Come Home Mr. Bulbous, Manic Moonlight, Black Like Sunday, Ogre Tones, and 15. Okay, so now that we've gone through all of that, let's get into what I really think stopped them from being a bigger band. Christianity. Yeah, that's it. The group had been labeled as a Christian band due to their lyrical content, upbringings, and hell, even the name when they settled on King's X. I believe this hurt the group more than anything. Although the band has renounced being a Christian group numerous times, the stigma has still remained. Good or bad, believer or non-believer, it still puts a thought in your head and possibly more apprehensive to check the group out. And that's the biggest shame of everything. This band should have been huge. A little something for metalheads? Got it. Just some rock and roll? Can do. Like a ballad sometimes? No problem. I personally am not religious at all, but I do attend a church, the first church of rock and roll, and that's what King's X is all about. I'm going to give you a few songs to check out if you're interested in the band, and those suggestions will be linked in the description. Thanks for watching, we'll see you later.